Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tom and I make videos that help you empower your higher self and manifest your dream reality. If you'd like to have a one-on-one, 100% donation-based coaching session with me, I'm still continuing with that donation-based coaching period for a limited time. So if you'd like to have that session with me, just head to the link below. In this video, I'm going to talk about higher self manifesting. How you can use your higher self to create your dream life, basically. Now, before we get into what the higher self is, I want to kind of frame this video by saying it's not an intellectual idea. So I can tell you all these advanced descriptions that various books say about what the higher self is, but really we'll never know. We'll never truly know what the higher self is. It's too grand, it's too big, it's too non-physical. It's not here and now in this dimension. So there are limitations in ever understanding it. So when approaching the higher self, I find it's better to just open your heart to the idea. Does it resonate that there is a non-physical aspect of your consciousness that loves you, that supports you, that guides you, that has your best interests at its heart, that even offers you challenges and catalysts and lessons to evolve you into your best version of yourself? Is that an idea that awakens some deeper knowing, some deeper recognition? Because if so, maybe that's the better gateway into understanding the higher self, is to feel that truth awaken within you. But nonetheless, even though I say that, I'm still going to give you some information, some practical information about what the higher self is. So the key in understanding this though, if we can somehow develop our relationship with our higher self, we gain access to this aspect that has a broad vantage point over all events in our life. It can see our birth to our death. It can see all of our lives if you believe in reincarnation. It's situated outside of space and time, so it can kind of look from a bird's eye view and see this version of you in this moment has these desires, wants to express themselves in this way, has these gifts and talents, and it can see exactly what you want to create in your heart. And so it also knows from this point how to get you to where you want to be. It can see all the different timelines and possibilities and directions you need to go in to realize your best life. So the key is, if we can develop this relationship and connection with our higher self, then we can gain access to this deep wisdom, knowing and clarity that can shape our life, that can help us take certain actions, think certain thoughts, do certain things, such that our best life can then effortlessly be manifested. So it's like you can hand off responsibility of your life to your higher self. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice to have that ability to just let go and allow higher wisdom to guide you and to feel totally safe, supported and confident in the wisdom you're receiving? Your whole life can just flow more beautifully with this relationship in place. So that's the key of this video. Now I want to back up a little bit more and talk about the higher self and give you a bit of that context. So your rational mind can sort of understand that's not just some airy-fairy notion, but actually has some deep metaphysical truth to it. And if you're a spiritual person, you're going through a spiritual awakening, then this truth will seem more palatable. If you're kind of on the fringe of that and you're more skeptical, that's where I came from. So either way, I still feel this may resonate with you, so it's helpful to know. So the term higher self, I have found best comes from the books known as the Law of One. And the Law of One was a series of channeled books from the early 1980s in which this small group of people contacted an entity called Ra. And Ra kind of explains the secrets of the universe. And this whole idea is that we aren't just this limited physical self in this physical world who lives one life, and then we come out of nothing and we just blip into nothing, an infinite, random, meaningless mechanical universe. It actually states just the opposite of that is the truth. That actually we are souls or divine beings that are individuated sparks of a source consciousness. And all that is consciousness that creates absolutely everything. And we're a spark of that on an evolutionary journey as a soul, going in and out of multiple lives on an evolutionary journey to reunite with this source, to recognize our divinity in our own state of consciousness, and ultimately to merge back into this divine love. That's what's really apparently going on according to these books. Now, these aren't ideas. If you have an awakening, you actually penetrate these truths at an experiential level. something that I've been doing in my own life. And I can say that these dimensions of love and of expanded awareness and consciousness are very real, and it makes ideas like the higher self, when that comes into the picture, so much more believable and experiential. So nonetheless, where humanity are at in our evolutionary journey collectively are at the third density. Third density is where you have a chemical body and reality is still quite physical, and you have an ego arise in this density, which is a sense of a separate self, and you're kind of exploring the universe. And you've just come out of second density, which is like animals and plant life, where they're not self-aware, and you become self-aware. That's where consciousness has evolved to it at this point. But as we keep going on for hundreds of thousands of years, millions of years eventually, what happens is we eventually get to the sixth density of consciousness. And so what is one of the key things that happens to a sixth density soul is that a part of them becomes the higher self. And the higher self acts as like this total self that has information about all of your lives, all of your past lives, all of your future lives, your current life, your current self in this very moment. It has the total gathered experiential wisdom and knowledge of you, and then it acts as a guidance point to any version of you at any point in your life. And so the way to best explain it is, think of it like grades in school. We're in grade 3, and when you're in grade 3 you're kind of younger, right? And you may need a buddy to support you, someone that's in a higher grade of school that can kind of support you, show you around the school, look after you. When you go out to the playground, you go to lunch and things like that, you're a bit nervous in grade 3, so you need that supportive self. So what happens is the grade 6 self, there's kind of like two versions of it. There's the self that continues as a student, because it's still got learning to do, so it evolves as a student. But then imagine that somehow there's two versions of your grade 6 self, and one of them is your buddy that's there to guide and support you. And so in grade 6 you have this ability to exist as both roles. Something that kind of defies a bit of logic, but that's, according to law of one, what exactly happens is that a portion of the grade 6 consciousness, or the sixth density consciousness, becomes the higher self, which just sits outside of space and time, can view all lives simultaneously and give you that guidance, give you that love, give you that support and wisdom, give you everything you need to manifest your best life. Okay, so now you understand it, you can start to see the power of this. Imagine tapping into this resource within you. Imagine living your life from a state of flow in which you're only trusting this inner guidance that feels like it's coming from this divine place, this place of unconditional love and wisdom. So how do you develop this relationship? How can you use your higher self to help manifest your best life? Well, it starts from believing it's possible and having an expectation that you actually have a higher self. You have an inner being, or you could say you have divine intuition. You have access to this, you can do it. Expect it to work, expect it to blossom into your life. Expect to feel that love and support and guidance, and that knowingness emerge that you are a soul, that you are an eternal being, that there is only love, and that you're merging into this love, and that everything is going to be okay, and can only be okay. If you start to believe these things, expect it to become an experiential truth, it will. That's manifestation 101. So go into this with an open-mindedness and a positive expectation, and also a willingness to just learn and evolve through trial and error. That's how the higher self will come alive in your experience. You probably won't get it from the first day. I remember I didn't. I was quite closed off to my intuition. I didn't even know what my intuition was, or this ability to kind of tap into this part of me that could give me answers. I had no clue. No clue at all. But bit by bit, now it's just an everyday part of my life. And I tap into this dimension of myself all the time and just receive beautiful guidance, beautiful impulses, great actions. And already I want to say, notice if that expands you, notice if that increases the love and connection you have to the universe just by tapping into these perspectives that you are an eternal soul, that there is only love, that everything's working out for you, and that you're supported and loved, and you can have access to this guidance. If that starts to make you feel good, well, if it feels good, that actually is your higher self right then and there, beaming through your emotional body, through your emotional guidance system, that sense that yes, your perception is true. You're tapping into truth. That's why it expands you. That's why it feels good. So you can already start to trust that. Okay, so the next step is, from the state of belief, work out what you want to ask it. Do you want to ask it something specific about your life? In the area of your relationships, in the area of your career, or your purpose? Do you want to ask it something specific about a situation you're going through right now? Perhaps you're going through a bit of an emotional storm. You're feeling a little bit vulnerable, upset, shaken, lost. You need answers in that specific situation. Or do you want to ask it something general about the broad scope of your life? How things are unfolding, what your theme is, what your soul's unique expression is all about, and what is in your highest destiny. You can do anything, so you've got to work out what you want to ask it. And then when you find that area, usually, and I'll cover it with the general theme, like the general question is, what do I need to know? What do I need for X, Y, Z? What do I need to know that will help me best handle my relationships or best attract in a partner? What do I need to know that will help me attract abundance and live a life of passion and purpose? What do I next need to do in my business? Or what do I need to do to get through this situation? What do I need to find self-love and clarity and peace and alignment so that I can move forward in this specific situation? What do I need to do right here and now to just get back on track in my life? Or what is my life really about? Where am I going in my life? What do I need to know about this? That's the key kind of question. Now, when you have that question, you ask it in that spirit of belief and positive expectation, and you just kind of surrender a little bit, let go, take some deep breaths as you do this. Especially when you're beginning out, you can have a pen and a piece of paper ready to get your answers, and you just pause for a second and allow your thinking mind to just go a little bit quiet, and then whatever then arises in the form of a thought, it will sound like your voice, it'll sound like an ordinary thought, but it'll have a certain quality to it. We'll get that in a second. But you just want to write that down. Just go with that. Just trust that. So at first, or in the early days, or when you're getting used to this, it may just feel like, hang on, did I just think that? That was just me. This is not real. It'll begin like that. But then just go with it anyway. It will still be a practical step that you can implement. An answer will emerge. Maybe a vision. You'll have a vision. Maybe you'll just have an emotion spark up, and along with the thought, something will come up. So you can write that down, and then you can ask it a subsequent question if you want, and just kind of go into a bit of a dialogue. So if it gives you an answer, okay, so how best can I implement this? When should I do this, etc. Just go with your gut feeling, have a bit of a conversation. Pause again, and just allow that answer to come in, and write it down. So how can you know it's your higher self? Well, practice. It's kind of like saying, how can you know what your intuition is? You just need to practice until you know, this is my intuition. This is not my logical, linear, rational mind coming up with an answer. This is coming from my heart. This is based on some higher wisdom that's emerging within me. It's exactly like that. In fact, your higher self is your intuition from some angles. You can look at it like that. So how can you tell? Practice. Ultimately, you'll know when it is your higher self, because it'll have this quality of wisdom and love, and it will infuse you with hope and positivity and energy, and the answers will feel profound yet simple. And so when you get that answer, fantastic, follow that, trust that, implement in your life and see what happens. What I found is that it kind of leads you along a series of steps in which greater alignment emerges, and if you just follow that, all of a sudden your point of attraction is different. The timeline you flow down is different, and you have access to even better thoughts, and actually things start manifesting. You get positive synchronicity, you get results. That's where your best life starts to manifest, by following these impulses more and more and more, and just leaving it up to your higher mind, to your higher self. And when you get really, really, really good at it, you can do this on the fly, because that channel will be open, that relationship will have blossomed. You can do it at the shops, you can do it when you're walking around in a busy city. Ultimately, you'll have that channel open so you can do it anywhere. That's when you can start becoming very advanced, and it's just a simple pausing, aligning, setting the intention, asking the question, instantly receiving the answer, and then following it. And it's very in a flow state at that point. And ultimately, it just starts fueling your life with this loving support, and you're constantly aligned more and more and more. But you won't be perfectly aligned, and here's an example in which I communicated with my higher self yesterday, actually. So yesterday was an interesting day. I kind of, you could say, woke up on the wrong side of the bed. A lot of things are shifting in my life, and I was just experiencing kind of old patterns arise. So I'm moving houses to a new area. I'm about to live by myself, leave my roommate, kind of leave a chapter behind. I'm sort of going through a shifting phase in my business, and I didn't really know the direction I'm going on, or in, creatively speaking, where I'm really being called, there were a lot of unknowns and I felt overwhelmed. And I just wasn't able to be in alignment. I felt emotional. And so at the right point in that day, when I kind of was in a calm enough state, I paused and I turned within and I just simply asked my higher self, what do I need to do tonight? What do I need to know right now to just get me on track? And my higher self said instantly, you need to breathe, you need to relax and let go, you need to trust. Everything is actually working out for you. You actually are going through a transformational period in which there are many catalysts here to give you lessons, to evolve you into the version of yourself that's going to have the business, the abundance, the everything that's next in line for you to experience in your life. So trust that everything's working out. And that really instantly resonated with me. It was like an instant truth recognition, alignment blossomed. And then it said, do what you planned to do earlier today. You were actually right about that. Because earlier in the day I thought, tonight I'm just going to journal, I'm going to relax, I'm going to have an early night, and I'm not going to think about my business at all. I'm not going to try and come up with answers. And said, do exactly that. Have the night off, relax, journal a little bit, take it really easy, have self-love, self-compassion. And I promise you tomorrow, I will give you the next thing you need to know. So I did that. I simply did that. My mind tried to come back in and start controlling things, and that's different because it has an erratic energy. And I let that go instantly. Let those thoughts instantly go and said, I'm just going to trust in that because I've seen how powerful the higher self's wisdom is. So I did that. I had an amazing sleep. I woke up the following day really bizarrely early. I never wake up as early as I did. I kind of woke up before my alarm. And as I woke up out of bed, I instantly checked in with my higher self and said, what do I do today? And said, I want you to film a video at the park about this very topic. And it also gave me another topic to film on when I get back at home. So that creative juice was there, that alignment was there, and things started flowing. And that's where I'm speaking to you from. This very state this is a manifestation of that. This is a creative expression that was guided from my higher self. And it was so simple. It involved me asking 2 questions that took 5 minutes of my time, and then I could just let go and rest in peace and alignment and knowingness. And I felt that love and support. And this is what I know is possible for you, is to tap into these answers, to follow these answers, and to see your best possible life, your dream life, your specific desires manifest before your very eyes. So I hope you found this video of higher self manifesting valuable. If you did, please like it, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment below. And if you'd like to have one-on-one coaching with me to help you manifest your desires or for guidance in your spiritual journey, just head to the link below. All sessions for a limited time are 100% donation based. Thank you.